Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at a new game published by Bethesda called Hi-Fi Rush. In Hi-Fi Rush you play an aspiring rock star called Kai, or Chai, yeah, I want to call it Kai, but it's Chai. And he basically arrives as a test a campus for part of a project where he gets basically an arm to replace his broken, crippled arm, and then he gets it replaced by a robot arm, but something goes wrong, as is wont to do in these things, while he's getting his arm, and his MP3 player falls onto him while this is happening, and also gets melded to him, resulting in him being able to perceive the beat of music in the world. And what happens now is we have a rhythm action game. Now, I'm not particularly rhythmic and I'm not very good at platformers, but I do like this game because even though I might not be nailing the notes 100% of the time, it does sort of allow you to get away with it depending on your difficulty settings, so you can still play it even if you're a bit pants like me. Which is nice, although if you do hit the notes perfectly, it will increase the damage you do. And I think the first thing I need to address is the visuals on the game. Obviously, in such sort of an anime style game, it's not sort of photorealism, it's not, you know, Callisto Protocol or that like graphical fidelity. But what really helps with that is the quality of the animation work. It's outstanding. It's just beautiful to look at, just the animation alone. It's hard to say. I mean, you'll see it I'll make sure I capture some cutscenes and stuff for the footage that you're seeing. But the quality of the animation is brilliant. The art style it's pretty good. It's not anything I would write home about, but the quality of the animation does elevate it massively for me. The game itself is quite light-hearted and fun. It's not having me sort of rolling on the floor with my sides, but it made me huff a few times in amusement. Certainly more than High on Life did, which, yes, in retrospect is... well, my dislike of it is probably a good thing, let's put it that way. So, Hi-Fi Rush, yes. And as you've been gone through this experimental project, and you're now classified as a defect, and the evil corporation is out to get you. And so you meet up with a robot cat who turns out to be owned by a girl called Peppermint, who then assists you. Well, kind of blackmails you into helping her cause, which is to take down the CEO, Cal Vanderlei. It's a lot of action. It's very sort of arena based, so you'll do like a load of platforming and you get to a big opening and you'll be like, oh, there's a fight, and yes, there's a fight. There's a lot of variety in enemies. You'll have ones that will have stun bars, so you can't like stun lock them until you break that bar. So you break the bar and then you can just wail on them and take them out of there. Other ones will fly, others will throw explosives at you. There's shielded ones which you need Peppermint's help to deal with. You do get more allies along the way, but I don't want to ruin it because it is a game that's definitely worth playing. The way the comboing works with the beats is a light attack counts as like 1 beat and a heavy attack counts as 2. So you're basically trying to time the button presses with the beat. So in 3 beats and you want to do a heavy and light attack, you'd always do a light and a heavy attack, or maybe 3 light attacks, but it should all be pressed on the beat, and that will increase your damage. After you've done a combo, you get the opportunity to do even more damage with an extra hit if you hit the button in the right time, which you can do. There's a lot of platforming. I suck at platforming, but it does decrease your life falling off a ledge, but it puts you back pretty much where you fell off from. So it's not that difficult. if you're not completely terrible like I am. But even so, I was able to get through it, so it's not a problem, really. It's just platforming is all. If you like platforming, you'll be happy with it. You do get upgrades to make things a little bit easier, like you can magnetize yourself to grapple points and slide along them, and there are sections where you're having to react to things coming at you as you slide along. But overall, it's a super good game, and after you finish every chapter you go back to the hideout, and there you can upgrade your abilities, or you can do that from kiosks that you can find in the game world. Kai himself is kind of dumb, but he's also quite likeable, so and arrogant, which I guess I identify with. So there you go. I didn't mind playing as him. He didn't annoy me. A lot of his takes pretty much were what I thought he'd say and probably would have said in his place. The characters are good. All the bosses that you fight are distinct, and all the boss battles, they don't outstay their welcome, but they're long enough to be a challenge and have multiple phases. But there's no just wailing on a boss for like a half hour and then getting to the next stage only to be killed and have to go back again. No, there's nothing like that. The bosses themselves are challenging, but once you've learnt their patterns, they're relatively easy to avoid. It's just a matter of like hitting the next stage and then having to learn what they do, you know, that's new and you haven't seen yet. So it's kind of pretty much boss fights as they've ever been, but it's done well and it's funny as well. It's got a good soundtrack. The soundtrack that you'll be hearing in the footage will be the streamer mode, because it does have one, which is good when you're making a video on it. So there are a lot of licensed games, I think, licensed tracks in the game, I should say. I think there's about 9. Stuff like I think 9 Inch Nails is in there. Who else? The Prodigy.
Hello there.
And I think there was classical music as well, just off my head.
Don't hesitate to chat.
But if you're super interested in the soundtrack, there apparently is a Spotify playlist. I don't have a Spotify subscription, so I'm guessing. Well, check it out. I mean, I could do it because you can have free Spotify, can't you? But whatever. But yeah, the licensed songs are all similar tracks performed by one band, and you're not going to get copyright claimed if you want to stream it on Twitch or put a video on YouTube, which is a good move. I always appreciate when games do that and I don't have to worry about it or just cut out the music entirely. It's always a nice thing to be able to do. It is getting critically really well received, and I would have to agree with that. The combat is fun, even if you're pretty bad at it like I am. It still allows you to be, to some extent, be my button mashy self in order to get through. But it still takes some skill, and certainly if you want to be good at it, you will have to learn to hit the beats correctly and stuff. You can bring up an on-screen one, on-screen sort of beat chart, so you can see when the beats are hitting, and then do it that way. But be warned, the game can get quite busy in combat sections with a lot of stuff coming at you, so I'm not sure how helpful it would be to have it down the sort of bottom of the screen, paying attention to that while you're getting endlessly murdered by robots. All the robots themselves, all the troops and stuff that you hear, you have quite a few funny interactions with. At the end of the game, basically, I'm trying to work out whether I should tell you or not, because I don't want to spoil things. But there's like a hook at the end of the game that kind of gets derailed when a clumsy cleaner bot sort of pulls a plug out by accident. It's kind of humour along those lines. If you like action games with an anime flair, then you're going to lap this up. If you like rhythm games, the same.
Hello?
I'm here.
it was one that I was looking at, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's on Game Pass, so I was just like, it's on Game Pass. I may as well try it because, you know, it doesn't cost me anything extra.
I think we might be able to help each other.
And yeah,
Security's all over you. which I can
3
help
days
you
later, I was like, yeah, that was good.
Okay, whoa. That was you back there?
So certainly, if you've got Game Pass, I would highly recommend checking it out.
But I built her.
Some of the music is,
Like I was
I
saying,
mean, the music all fits what you're doing as well. There's no real sort of theme songs in there that are just coming out of left field and makes me think, oh, why was that in there?
Vandelay's up to something, and I said I can help.
Thanks, but I'm good.
So yeah, upgrades. So you fill up a bar as you fight. I think you go up to 4 off the top of my head. Possibly more, actually, because you pick up upgrades as you go through, which increase your energy and your life and all of that jazz, as per usual, like God of War style.
It's not responding.
And
What did
you go in and you also pick up cogs, and you pick up a lot of cogs. Well, what you think is a lot of cogs, and turns out not to be very many cogs when you want to buy something, but whatever. And you pick up the special moves, and each move costs a certain amount of bars, but you have to select which ones you want. So you can't take them all at one time, but that's fine. And then you just hit the button once it's ready. It's the two, it's left 3, right 3, or left stick, right stick, I guess, depending on your controller of choice. This isn't on PlayStation. It is only on Xbox and Windows PC. Obviously through, you know, because of the Game Pass Bethesda ownership deal. So yeah, sorry. I don't know. I kind of like. I kind of like think there should be Game Pass on PlayStation. I know Sony won't go for it, but
This is awesome.
it's kind of like. It kind of makes sense to me. And it's a bit of a brag, isn't it? It's like, well,
we
you
got
know,
something going on here.
we play our competitors' games on our console. So why buy his?
What?
Yeah,
Why?
anyway,
Hey,
I'm sure there's
wanted to help,
perfectly
right?
legitimate reasons why not,
Don't worry, it's
and
just
I'm
a light
getting
job.
completely sidetracked. But yes, it's very good. It runs absolutely wonderfully. I had it V-synced, capped at 143, and outside of the cutscenes, which are kept at 60, absolutely just stuck to that like glue, as far as I recall seeing. So yeah, I mean, it plays great, it looks great. Once again, the animation is sublime. There's just a really pleasing way about it. I don't know how to describe it. It just makes my eyes feel good watching it. It's really weird, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as I said, if you've got Game Pass, it's a no-brainer, get it. I think it's about 25 quid on other platforms. It is on Steam.
Bring it on.
But I've got Game Pass, so I didn't buy it. So, yay. Highly recommend. If you don't like the sort of anime art style and that sort of humour, then it might grate on you a little bit. The gameplay itself is quite fantastic. Some of the, as I say, some of the platforming is a little bit but I'm pretty sure that's just why I'm shit at it, so there you go. Anyway guys, highly recommend it. That's Hi-Fi Rush. It was done by Tango Gameworks and published by Bethesda Softworks, and came out on January 25th, so I am, as of day of recording,
Well, looks like all of them.
7 days past.
Maybe
Not
things
quite as
aren't so
impressive.
bad
Never mind.
after all.
I thought that would have been more impressive, but it's not.
Remind me to ask
I guess
you
it was
later
that
how you
whole
did all that.
Like I know.
umming and ahhing whether to download it or not.
I need to
But
get
yeah,
out of.
if you haven't tried it, give it a try, because
You're in
it's
production,
pretty
and the only direct
bloody
exit is
good,
through quality assurance. You see it?
I must say.
So many buildings. So
Anyway guys, that's all from me this week.
It's the one
I
that
hope you enjoyed the
literally
video.
says QA
If
center
you've
on
played it, let me know down below.
Oh yeah.
Am I mad about
That way out. They're
the
probably
animation?
expecting
How does it
us,
make your eyes
Yeah,
feel?
Mia,
Mine feel
way
good.
out. Let's go.
Anyway, guys, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.